Okay, and don't forget to save out your code. So let's just do a little cleanup here. We're gonna move this up here and put these variable declarations near each other. Okay, and put a space in here. Okay, that looks a little better. So now what we'd like to do is make it so that we can change the color of this LED while the code is running. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to integrate in this toggle switch. So first let's decide where to put it. So we're going to unplug the unit so it's not powered up, and we're going to put it right there between from 13, 12, and 11. You can see that right there. Okay. And in the code, we're going to want to define that. So let's do that right now. First of all, there are 3 pins on this toggle switch, but we really only need to define 2 of them. We will define the one on the end as SW1, and the pin that that's plugged into, if we look back at the unit, it is pin 11, and the center will be 12. So SW1 is 11, and define SW2 is 12. And then in the setup, we need to set up those pins. So we will do that with the pin mode that we have used earlier. And the way we're going to do this is the pin on the outside of that slide switch, we're going to actually drive low. So it'll be kind of like ground. And then the center pin which is SW2. We're going to make it an input, but we're going to make it a special input. And let's go take a look at the reference. Pin mode. If we define it as input pull-up, then if it's not connected to anything, it will be pulled up internally high. And if the slide switch connects it to that outer pin that's driving low, it will actually drive against this pull-up, and it will pull the signal low. So also notice I didn't spell that right. So that's pin mode. So then we type in input pull up here. And of course, instead of writing low, I meant to put output here, and then below that, we're going to have a digital write command where we actually drive SW1 with an output of low. Okay, so that sets up those 2 pins. And we could create a variable that holds the value of the switch, but we don't really need to do that. What we could instead do is just use the digital read function that reads the switch and use that as a Boolean. So I'll show you about that. So right here we'll say if digital read SW2 equals 1. And note that here we have 2 equal signs, because this is checking if these 2 are equal. It's not actually making an assignment 1 to this value, but it's comparing them, and you always need to use 2 equal signs for that. So if it's high, then we'll set red equal to 1 and green equal to 0. So it'll turn the red on. Else, so if the digital read is not 1, well then it must be 0, so then we want to change the color. So we'll make that 0 in this one. So every loop this will be executed, and it'll always look at the switch, and it will pick the right color for the remainder. So let's try that out. I've got to plug the board in. There we go. And of course, I got to get the name of the variables correctly, since it is case sensitive. Okay, and if we take a look at the board, see we got a green LED there. Kind of hard to see, but it's there. And I'm moving it back and forth. If I flip the switch, now it's red. Flip it back, now it's green. So that worked for us.